Hello all you beautiful people, how are you doing today? This is Lava Temptress and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome if you are new. Hi, how are you? Today we're going to be going into Tinker's Construct and we're going to be talking about weapons. Yay! So if you missed the tools one, it's previous. So today we're just going through the weapons. And I split them up because otherwise they're going to be quite a bit longer videos. We're not going to go into too much on modifiers. I will do a separate video on that one because again, there's a lot to talk about. So today we're going to be talking about all the different weapons that Tinker's Construct adds to your gameplay. So first of all, it adds a very, very typical looking sword. Looks just like a Minecraft sword, different colors, because, you know, you can make it out of different materials. As always, purple's my favorite color, so we are using all manual today, because purple, I love it, and it's my favorite. And something I forgot to say last time on the tools, but I've talked about it before, if you make a sharpening kit, even if you're out and about, you can repair your tools and weapons on the go. So for instance, the sign, see, it has the little durability bar. You don't want it to let it, even if it's broken, it'll break all the way. And even if it's broken, you just put the sharpening kit in there and it will repair it. So that's pretty nice. So you can repair stuff on the go. All right, so what are the different tools that Tinker's adds? Well, first of all, I probably should take those out first. First of all, the typical sword that looks just like your Minecraft type sword. It's the broadsword. It's a universal weapon, sweeping attacks, keep enemy hordes at bay. Also good against cobwebs. So for this one, you're going to use a tool rod, a sword blade, and a wide guard. So these swords are made quite a bit the same, but a little bit differently. So let's see, I did add some parts in here. So if we were to grab a sword blade and a tool rod, and for this one we need the wide guard. So if we look, there's a cobalt wide guard. And I'm not going to go through how to make each of the weapons because it's pretty easy to look in here. But see, there we go. We got us a broadsword. Each of the different materials you use will change it a little bit. So be aware of that. So let's go over here and talk to some sheepies here. And obviously I have the manual, but it kills them pretty quick. Look at that. Come here. Come back here. Oh, that's dark. That's dark. We should probably get out of there. Alright, so another thing is, that I could have demonstrated right there, is if we have our sword in this hand, and we're mining, but, you know, mobs come attack, because, you know, mobs. Okay, where's that other hole that possibly mob could come down in? Aha, right here. Alright, so this one's dark. I did show last time you could add your torches here and put up a torch. But for instance, if we're mining along, oh damn, this is not one you can make. I don't know if it's something you can get, but it's in creative mode for Tinkers. But say you're mining along or you're shoveling or whatever, you have your regular tool in your hand, you have your sword in the other hand. So if you right click, just like you're going to use your pickaxe, it'll automatically hit them with the sword, which is kind of cool. So see, I do have armor on, so, you know, I'm a little bit protected. But it's kind of nice, so that way if you're clearing out a big space, if you're going mining or whatever, there's different ways you can do it. If you didn't see my last video, I also showed if you have your pickaxe there, you can also put torches here to place them out, or you can put whatever other tool to use. So, it's pretty cool. Try to get some, oh, now one finally spawned in here. Whoops. This pickaxe is crazy, which is probably why you can't normally get it, because dang, That's insane. And that's going to look off, but that's okay. Alright, well, let's sleep because I planned on just spawning the mobs. And that way we can get into the different tools. Alright, let's just... Oh, you want to sneak up on me? Well, that was a bad example. Oh, look, it gave us glow. Ah, crap! The joy of being in survival. The creepers are sneaky little bastards. Alright, so this one is a rapier, which is nice with creepers because you can push them back. Man, they're exploding right away. Usually I can push them back. Okay, so the rapier is one of my favorites. It adds a pushback effect to the mobs. So that way it can push them back a little bit if it doesn't kill them instantly. So that way it gives you a little bit more time. Usually with the creepers, I can get them pretty fast and they don't kill me. But apparently they wanted to prove me wrong. So there's that. Alright, so this one, you go in here, it is the third one over. So it is a cross guard is what you would use there. And again, it tells you here, the rapier is a special weapon that relies on quick strikes to defeat foes. Right click to backpedal. So for instance, you know what, let's just spawn. Let's spawn some zombies. That's why I created this little house here, so our zombies wouldn't die right away when we spawn them. So if we spawn a zombie and we right click, oh, you know what? Part of the problem is that it's in our hand. So it was hard to see a little bit there, but this is why I don't like buttons. It did push them back just a little bit. It's not the greatest, but once you add modifiers to it, it will make it even better. But we'll get into modifiers a little bit later. Okay, so the cleaver, as you can see if you look at it, it adds beheading. So beheading is a modifier you can add to your tools, but the cleaver automatically has it. So it is a large tool rod, a large sword blade, large plate, and tough tool rod. And the cleaver is a heavy offensive weapon. It has powerful stripes, but difficult to wield. Cleavers benefit from high damage, slow requires 2 hands. So if you've ever used a cleaver, these things, they look pretty awesome. Let's go in here and spawn another zombie. They look pretty awesome, but they're really, really slow. But as you can see, if you want to get a head off a mob, then you're more likely to do it if you have a cleaver. Unless, of course, you add beheading to your weapon. But this one automatically comes with beheading, so it makes it pretty nice. Just remember that when you use it, it's a little bit slower than your typical sword. Okay, so next in the sword department, let's start putting some of these away because our inventory is becoming so full. Alright, so that we did the broadsword, the cleaver, and the rapier. So next we have the longsword. And the longsword uses the tool rod, sword blade, and the handguard. Now the longsword is an offensive weapon. It's often used for charging into battle at full speed. Right click makes you lunge. So again, let's go back in here, spawn some zombies, and try to look at the difference. Now if I were further away, let's see if we can get it further away. You hold down right click and it creates a lunge attack. So you have to kind of play with the different types of weapons and figure out what you like best. My favorite, honestly, is the rapier. Now, I will do a separate one after we do modifiers on what my favorite weapons are, the materials and everything to build them, modifiers, all that. But, yeah, just to tell you right now, rapier is my favorite. I like the speed that it uses. it's all in all a pretty good tool. Now there's some other tools in here and they're a little bit different, but we're going to go over all of them. And of course we can't forget our bows and crossbows. All right, so then we have a frying pan. A frying pan is really good to use in the beginning because, well, first of all, I like the sound that it makes, but second of all, you can actually cook food in it. What? Yeah, let's go kill some sheepies, okay? It actually sounds like you're smacking them with a frying pan. I love it, right? But you can also right click and it flies them across the way. So for instance, let's go over here and spawn some zombies. I love the frying pan. It is freaking hilarious. It's especially good when you're first starting out because it gives you a really good weapon. But also if you're planning on traveling, it gives you an opportunity to have a tool with multiple uses on it. So as you can see, it throws them back. It makes the cool little sound that I absolutely love. But if you, let's see, does it say in here? Okay, so for the frying pan is a heavy weapon with knockback to create some distance. It also goes boing. Right click for a heavy blow. It used to actually cook stuff too, but it doesn't look like it does that anymore. Nope. So that's not a feature anymore, so ignore me on that part. But it is pretty cool because, I mean, hello, boinging sound. But also, it cooked our mutton for us. Did you see that? But that you have to use the right click, I believe, to cook it. So let's spawn some chickens here. Chickens. So let's hit them regularly with it, and we just get the raw meat. But if we hold it back, then we get the cooked meat. So you have to hold it back until it'll be all the way back. So if you hold it all the way back, ta-da, it gives you cooked meat. So if you're out and about and you're traveling and you need some food and you have a frying pan on you, you can always do that and it will automatically cook the meat for you if you do the right click hold back, which is pretty cool. It used to be you had to set it like on the ground and cook it, but pretty awesome. I like it a lot. All right, so let's talk about some ranged weapons. Ranged weapons are pretty cool. So the first one I'm going to talk about is your typical, it's called a longbow. And the way it's made is you have to use a bow limb. So think about making the two curves, and then a bowstring. But the bowstrings are quite a bit different. Let's take this out for a second. We're going to look at this in a minute. But the bowstrings you can actually make out of regular string, but you can also make it out of not leaves, because leaves are, hold on, brain fart, bowstring. You can also make it out of vines. That's right. So you can do slime, you do your regular string, or you can do slime string, the purple slime string, or regular vines. So it's a little bit different, but even to start off with, if you just use your regular string, it's fine. Now if you hold it down, you'll see the circle come in, and you can just shoot them. But the nice thing is, it gives you exactly where you're going. So no matter how far away, now if you need to quick shoot, you can, but it doesn't always work properly. So you want to hold it down with right click until you get the small little square there. And then just go over whatever you want, whatever it is you're trying to kill, your mob, your good mob, whatever it is. Now, if we do it in here, sometimes it's a little bit harder. Whoops. See, it takes a little bit more of a minute. So if you're bombarded, it's probably not going to be the fastest thing in the world, and you're probably not going to want to use that. But thankfully, there's some other ones too. So next we have a shuriken, and the way the shuriken is made is really weird because it is 4 of your knife blades, which to me, I think that's pretty weird. Now you can make it all out of the same material, but if you combine materials, then it gives you an opportunity to add all different types of things to your shuriken since it takes 4. This one's real simple. It's real quick. You just simply aim at what you're wanting to do. You have the little crosshair and then you right click and look at that. But it has pretty good range and everything based on whatever materials you use. So that is the shuriken. They are awesome. I almost always make a shuriken. I really don't rely on the bow so much. It's not that it's bad. It's just I make a shuriken and then I can repair it on the go without having to have arrows or anything on me. Now the arrow, as you can see, the arrow just goes down. So one arrow will hold a whole bunch. It'll go down and then you can stick it up here and repair it just like you would with the normal tools. So that's kind of cool. No more holding a whole bunch of different stacks of arrows. And then we have the crossbow. Now the crossbow is pretty cool. There's different kind of bolts you can make with it. Now the bolts are pretty, let's sleep first. The bolts are quite a bit different way that you make them. So I'm actually going to demonstrate how we make the bolts. So the bolts, first of all, you have to make an arrow shaft. Which, why do I not see the arrow shaft? Oh, because I took it out. Ha ha! Funny, funny. Alright, so we would want the arrow shaft. It's down here with the bow stuff. So first of all, we make that. Now the best one you can make is if you use the end rods from the end, and it makes these end rod arrow shafts. And so if I take these out, then it's still just an arrow shaft. So then what we do is we put it here, just like that. It'll place one down. And what we would do is take whatever material we want. The first one I did manual, so we'll do cobalt on the next one. So you just pour it directly over it. So for this one, I have the manual, and that one will have the cobalt. So then you go back in here and you combine it with fletchings. Now the fletchings, you use leaves. You can use regular leaves, you can use slime leaves. I don't think you can use any other leaves at the moment. Fletchings, here we go. So you can use, you can use feather to start with, that's right. You can use leaf, slime leaf, the blue slime, the magma slime, and the purple slime. And so each one will give you different accuracy. The slime leaf gives you 80%, feathers gives you 100, but the slime leaf also adds modifiers and the leaf adds modifiers, but the leaf only gives you 50. But considering that would possibly be your first one unless you use feather, then, you know, it depends on what you want to do. But for this one, we're going to add the manulin, has the end speed rod, and we're going to add the slime leaf fletching. So if we pull that out, it's going to be a manulin bolt. As you can see, it has 80% accuracy. It has 3 modifiers we can add to it. Here's a different one. This is just one I pulled out. It's just a regular wood with manulin. And as you can see, it's 100% accuracy, but it's only 9.72 attack. Whereas this one, the attack's also 9.72. There's 58 ammo on this one and 65 on this one. So depending on what materials you use is what you're going to get out of it. Alright, so let's spawn a whole bunch more chickens. Let's get a couple over here. Yeah, there you go. Walk around, do your thing. Alright, so with the crossbow, if you hold it down, you're going to get the crosshairs that go in. You have to load it first, though. Did you see that? You have to load it. So when you do it the first time, you have to actually load it. So when you're holding it down, now you can see it's pulled back all the way, and you actually have one in there. And then once you click again, then it'll actually shoot. So the crossbow is pretty slow. It's very good, but it's very slow. It's more of a, you want to be back. It's not something you're going to use right up when you're next to something, because you have to load it each and every time. So you got your bow. It takes a minute to load, but you don't have to. Once the little square goes down, it's already preloaded. It just automatically uses the ammo that you have. Whereas the crossbow, you have to actually hold it down, let it load, and then you can shoot it. So those are the differences. Excuse me, had to get a drink and clear my throat. Okay, so that is the different weapons. They're all pretty cool. I don't necessarily use all of them, but again, it depends if you're wanting to do something up close, you know, how fast you want to kill them. You know, even here, well, let's spawn a couple more. Even up close here, you know, is it close enough that you can use, especially with these little guys, that you can use your bow and arrow. So it depends on what you want to use, how fast you're trying to kill everything. But look at this. Shuriken doesn't take any time to load. Shuriken is awesome. So I can spawn them right here. And even with this fast little guy right here. Look at that. I saved my butt. Look at that. That is why the Shuriken is one of my favorite weapons to use. Alright, well, I will go over modifiers and stuff later, and obviously you can make each one better by adding different materials and different modifiers, but that is the different weapons that are available in Tinker's Tools. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you would like me to go over any other things that I haven't already done, leave those down below too. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification bell, because that tells you when the next videos come out in case you want to see them right away. Alright, until next time, this is Lava Temptress. Don't get burned.